Today might be a sweet and bitter day. Sweet because it's the resurrection of our Lord, and bitter because we can't gather together. In this past week, as we prepared for this day, in a lot of the videos, I had focused on the cross, how we were entering into the passion of our Lord. And we have our own passion now as being separated from Him, from the Eucharist, from the font and the source of our Christian life. St. Augustine, on this day, for this gospel that we heard just now, about the women who came seeking Jesus in the tomb to anoint His body, bringing perfume. He says that St. Augustine tells us that we should do the same in seeking our Lord. And he says to us, let us seek Him, bearing the perfume of personal virtues, joined to a reputation for good works. So we want to live virtuous lives. That means having habitual good actions that are easy and joyful for us. A virtuous, personal virtues, to seek our Lord, bringing Him the perfume of these personal virtues of a habitual good life, joined to a reputation for good works. So thank the Lord, many people are still at work. They're still able to live a pretty normal life except for Sundays. But especially for you who are staying at home, live a life of virtue, especially a life of the virtue of temperance. That means not eating too much, having a balanced life, not watching too much TV or surfing the internet, to do things in moderation. Let's focus again on the cross here for a moment, as we have our own crosses to bear. Because it's from the cross that flows life, the very life of Jesus. And as you can see in this, I'm going to come with me for a second. It's going to be a little different because normally you don't move during Mass. But I want you to see here that we have steps going up to the altar. Sometimes in churches you'll see holy, holy, holy written on the 3 steps. The altar is elevated like that to symbolize for us Calvary, the mount on which Jesus was crucified. And me as a priest, as we celebrated on Holy Thursday, I'm ordained to offer the Mass, whether it's public or private, whether anyone's here or not, or if it's just me and the angels. But from the Mount Calvary, from the crucifixion comes life. And what comes down is His body, blood, soul, and divinity upon the altar. And I, as a priest, come down from Mount Calvary. And you as faithful, especially in this traditional Latin Mass, you come up to the steps of the sanctuary. Traditionally, right there would be an altar rail. For most of the life of this parish, which is almost 100 years old, there was an altar rail. And that rail is a place of meeting, of heaven and earth. The sanctuary here being heaven, where the people sit being earth. And Jesus would come down from heaven. He does come down from heaven to meet us there and to feed us with his body, blood, soul, and divinity, his very life. So we may have to endure this trial, this cross, for a little bit longer. But I encourage you to seek Jesus. As St. Augustine says, with virtue and reputation of good works, but also to keep that fire, which is the light of Christ, burning in you, so that when you come back, you can come back to receive him with great devotion. Happy Easter. God bless you.